Yo, you already know what it is. Yo, first I want to do a RIP to the greatest and the legend, Tupac Shakur. Look, we already know he was the greatest poet when he was alive, and I'm even going to say that even now as he's gone. So I'm feeling a little bit like Machiavelli right now. So we gonna get into it, but we're gonna do it with paying a little homage to Tupac. You already know what it is. So I'm gonna let y'all know. I've been married for 15 years, but I learned what marriage could be. And I also had to learn what a relationship shouldn't be. And I had some lessons that I had to learn that hurt. Some came through cheating, some came through disrespect. I even had some abusive relationships that came through. Some even came from mistakes that I made myself. But I'm not coming here pretending I did everything right, because Lord knows I didn't. I've been hurt too. I did some of the hurting. But I've been loyal to the utmost. And there was times when I had to question whether what I called loyalty was actually harming myself. Was it me abandoning myself? That's what we're going to talk about today, though. How far should loyalty go? When do you give forgiveness becomes permission? Can you love somebody and still decide that that they don't belong in your lives? And if somebody is incarcerated, how much are you supposed to sacrifice to prove that you're even holding them down? Because everybody loves saying, I'm loyal, I'm loyal. But loyalty, it sounds different when it starts costing you years of your life. Loyalty should never require you to disappear so somebody else could feel secure. Fuck that, nah. I used to think staying, it proved that you loved them. But when you're younger, you confuse endurance with love. The more you tolerate, the more the loyal that you are. When somebody cheats, you forgive them. Somebody disrespects you, say everybody makes mistakes, it's cool. Somebody hurts you emotionally, you'll start remembering all the good times, letting that ride. And sometimes you keep collecting explanations for behavior that's breaking you to the core. But here's where it gets a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm gonna hit you with this question. If the same thing's happening to you, is it still a mistake? Or does it become a choice? Because forgiveness doesn't mean that somebody gets unlimited access to you. Trust and believe me, it doesn't. You can forgive somebody, still close that door. It took me a long time to understand. Forgiveness, you can free your heart without reopening the door. But let's talk about cheating. Everybody talks about the physical act, who slept with who texted who got caught. But cheating, that damages something deeper than a relationship. It can make somebody question themselves eternally. Am I attractive enough? Was I not doing enough? What's wrong with me? That's dangerous because somebody else's decision could turn into your own insecurities. But I also been accountable, hold it both ways. If you cheated, hurt somebody, you lied, manipulated, played games yourself, maturity means admitting that too. You can't demand accountability from somebody while you're hiding from your own. So let's put it on the table. Which is harder for you? Admitting somebody hurt you or admitting that you hurt somebody else? Keep it real. Healing starts when we stop keeping score long enough to examine how our own behavior, holding somebody down in prison, that's where the loyalty gets just a little bit complicated. Because when somebody you love, they get incarcerated, you're doing that time physically too. But the person outside start doing the sentence too, the phone calls, the visits, the money, commissary, driving hours to see them, taking care of the children, handling emergencies, staying faithful if that's what you're doing, because it's your business, keeping somebody encouraged, years could pass. And sometimes the person incarcerated expects the world outside to stop because theirs did. That's not realistic. The person outside is still living, still raising children, still paying bills, still needing affection, somebody to cuddle up to, still needing that little emotional support, still just becoming somebody. So here's the question that nobody likes asking, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. If somebody loves you, do you owe them your entire life? Because you're incarcerated? Keep it 100. Tell me. Don't tell me what you think the person incarcerated next to you wants you to say. I want to know what you really feel. I believe you can hold somebody down. You can love them, support them, encourage them from a distance. But nobody should have to destroy themselves to prove that they're loyal. Real love, it appreciates sacrifice. It doesn't turn sacrifice into entitlement. Abuse changed what love meant to me. I'm also experiencing abusive relationships, and that's something I'm going to talk to you about, and I'm going to keep it 100. Not because I want sympathy, but because somebody's watching this, they might recognize themselves in what I'm saying too. Abuse could confuse you. The understanding of loyalty, you start saying, but I love me some of them. Oh, they not always like this. I promise you, girl, you just caught them on a bad day. They apologize. Things was good before. They might change, but damn, they might not. But those that love, that don't erase all the harm that they did. The history, it doesn't erase. Children, it don't erase all the harm. Apology, that definitely doesn't erase all the patterns. And stand is not automatically proof that you're stronger. Oh, because I stayed, he whipped my ass, I'm still here. Oh, he cheated on me, I took him back, girl. Yeah, he loved me because he's staying with me, not that one. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes leaving, that requires strength. Talk about this and think about it. If somebody you love told you they was experiencing exactly what you was experiencing, what would you tell them? Now ask yourself why your answer changes when it's your own life. Don't give everybody else advice and you refuse to give it to yourself. 15 years of marriage, you know what it taught me? Being married for 15 years doesn't mean everything was perfect. That's not realistic. Relationships require work. Communication requires work. Trust requires work. Forgiveness requires work. We catching on now? And sometimes just learning how another person thinks, that requires work. But the difference between working on a relationship and constantly surviving one, the distinction matters. Every disagreement, it isn't abuse. Every mistake, it isn't betrayal. Every rough period doesn't mean you should leave, but you should be able to identify the patterns. Is that respect? Is that accountability? Is this honesty? Can both people admit that they was wrong? Can both people even grow together? Because if only one person is doing all the growing, eventually you're going to outgrow the relationship. A healthy relationship is two people growing together, not one person dragging the other towards to change, begging, getting the knees ashy. Where this series is going, I'm just gonna open the door today because there are things that's a lot deeper going on and I want to get into. But in part 2, I want to talk about staying, why we stay, when we know something is wrong, why history makes leaving even harder, why being alone scares people, and why sometimes the person you're fighting hardest to keep maybe the person you're supposed to be releasing. Then in part 3, I'm going to get to tell you guys about my 15 years of marriage and what it taught me. The none, the earlier relationships, what it taught me as well. Not the perfection, but my perspective. Because after everything I lived through, I don't believe that the real question is, do you love them? The harder question is, who do you become when you're with them? Listen, sometimes the best measurement of a relationship isn't how much you love somebody, it's whether you still recognize yourself while you're loving them. And in these 10 engagement, this is the idea for you to give your answer first, but leave enough tension for the viewers, and I want everybody to actually start seeing and think about everything I said. Hop on the comments, let me know what it is. Tell me how you feel, because I'm going to come out with part 2, and when part 2 come, I want to see even more engagement. You understand me? Lock in. We out of here. Juanita Mecca Audio. Like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell. Boom. Okay. Can somebody cheat on you and still love you? Yes. But love doesn't accuse betrayal. And a person has feelings for you and still make you feel selfish with your decisions, that destroys all the trust. Love and good behavior are always the same thing. Understand me. How many times should you forgive cheating? Once, twice? There's no magic number. A bigger question is whether everything changed after you forgave them, or is it still the same patterns? An apology without change behavior becomes a cycle. And I was never good in the gym, so that cycle isn't right for me. So that depends on the commitment that you both people made. You understand? Loyalty should be discussed, not demanded. Sacrifice means more when it's given freely. Remember that. Can you love somebody and still leave them? Absolutely, in my opinion. Sometimes leaving isn't proof that the love disappeared. It's proof that self-preservation finally showed up. You gotta love yourself. Fuck that. It's God first, you, then the motherfuckers, right? Love doesn't always mean access. It's staying through every real loyalty. It's staying, it's like, either that you really see that as being real loyalty or not. Not always, right? Sometimes it's loyalty. Sometimes it's fear. It could be attachment. Just a habit. Something you're used to. Now, why are you staying before you even call it loyalty, right? Should you tell your partner everything about your old relationships or just keep it mute and cute? Tell them what helps. And then, you see what it understands. Anything that they need to know. They don't need to know everything. But honesty does matter. But healing doesn't require reopening every old wound just to prove that you have nothing to hide. Remember that. Everything needs to be said. Your past should provide any context to control your presence, Can a relationship really recover after trust is broken? Sometimes, but both people have to participate. One person can't rebuild a bridge without the other one just keeps moving all the boards, you know what I mean? Trust requires consistency, not just promises. So let me ask you this. When should you stop fighting for a relationship? I think you should stop when you realize that the only person fighting is you, boo-boo. Relationships can't survive difficult seasons, but they can't survive it by themselves, and with only one person doing the effort. Two people build the relationship, right? So two people have to help to repair it. Remember that. Is being alone better than being with the wrong person? Yes. Why the hell you want to be with the wrong person? Be by yourself. You love you, right? So be with you. Yeah, loneliness can hurt, but shit, you love yourself. Get a damn dog, fuck. Company is not the same as a connection. Remember that shit. I got another question though, one more. What matters more, love or respect? Or I think you need both. But respect comes prior to the love to me, because you could love a dog and still whip a dog's ass. I could respect a dog and I ain't fucking beating the dog's ass, right? It's a difference. So, here's the questions I would like to leave you hanging. Would you rather lose someone you love or lose someone just trying to keep them? Never make or keep a relationship more important than keeping yourself. Remember that. That's not what we're doing here.
Hi, I watch Mecca's YouTube, and it's amazing. Like, his whole story is so nostalgic. It's so like Harlem. It's so like 1980s. It's so 1999. I've been watching his channel for about 2 years. And it's very informative and it's real. You don't really get the real deal from everybody, but with him, you definitely gonna get the whole real story. This is a Harlem legend, kingpin, legendary. I'm so happy to just even meet him and be in his presence. Like, his channel is very informal, and if you subscribe, you're gonna be just like me, a fan. I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing.
What you got from the channel?
History, how hard it is to be in jail, the right and wrong moves to make when you outside, how one wrong move will cost you a whole lot, to be better, to do better, a lot of stuff. You'll get a lot of stuff from his channel. It's very informal, and whatever that means to you, you'll definitely take a piece with you. Like, this is a good YouTube channel, honestly.
So who you on, where they can find you?
Okay, I'm Cora. You can find me at Instagram on Why Hate on Her, and yeah.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.